Up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shilt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
First pitch coming. Manny hacks it in the air to deep left field. Gurriel gonna watch this one. Gonna go! Manny Machado, a go-ahead homer. 16th of the season. And the Padres lead for the first time tonight. It's 3-2.
Manny Machado gives the Padres the lead in the fifth inning, and they go on to win it here tonight to split this four-game set against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The final score on this Thursday, the Padres 4 and the D-backs 3. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Padres get what you feel like is a big win here tonight as they improve to 50-43 on the year. Padres winning their 50th game of 2025. The Diamondbacks dropped to 46-48. Arizona and San Diego splitting this four-game set. A lot to do on our post-game show. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. We have the full game recap for you, all the radio highlights. We'll break down each and every aspect of this one, but the Padres trailed 2-0 early in this game. They get a run in the third on a Fernando Tatis Jr. home run. They get a run in the fourth inning to tie the game at 2. Manny gives them the lead with a solo home run to begin the fifth inning. Padres get an RBI double in the fifth inning from Xander Bogaerts, and then from that point on, it became about this fearsome foursome in the Padres bullpen, and they were once again really, really good tonight, and they made some big-time pitches and got some big-time outs when they absolutely needed it in a really tight game. Adrian Morejon, we'll talk plenty about him. He was terrific. Inning and two-thirds scoreless. Jason Adam gave up a run in the seventh inning, but found a way through it to keep the Padres in front. Jeremiah Estrada scoreless eighth inning. Robert Suarez picks up his major league leading 27th save of the season with a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and the Padres hang on for a 4-3 win. Gavin Sheets, also a big-time game. He had 3 hits here tonight, all against the left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez, as Sheets continues to put together just a terrific season, continues to really do well against left-handed pitching. I caught up with Gavin Sheets on the field right after tonight's 4-3 win.
Gavin, let's start with what you did tonight. 3 hits, all against the lefty. Why were you able to have success against Eduardo Rodriguez?
Yeah, just feeling more comfortable. More bats are going to get the lefties better feel at them, and thought we had a pretty good game plan coming in, and just trying to put good at bats together. And obviously, when you're hitting between Manny and Bogey in those situations against a lefty, you kind of get attacked a little bit more. So it's just a benefit of being in that lineup.
13 hits as a lineup today. What did you like about the offensive approach?
Yeah, I thought we were aggressive, and I also thought we swung at the right pitches. You know, a lot of walks mixed in as well, and that's when we're dangerous. Swinging at the right pitches, being aggressive, but also not chasing the pitcher's pitch. So I thought we did a great job with that today.
You guys like playing close games. Another one today. That big 4 in the bullpen, Suarez, Morejon, Estrada, Adam, they continue to get it done. What's it like to play behind these guys?
Just a bunch of all-stars. That's how you get that name, and obviously we'd like to break it open a little bit more, but those guys pick us up over and over, and they continue to do it again tonight.
It was one game at a 162, but it was almost managed tonight, a little like a big game against the division opponent. Did it feel that way tonight?
Yeah, we knew it was a big game coming in. We didn't want to lose this series. We wanted to even it up 2-2, and obviously it's a good ball club and division opponents, so those games always feel a little bit more important.
Gavin, great job tonight. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That was Gavin Sheets right after this 4-3 win for the Padres against the Arizona Diamondbacks. As Gavin Sheets had a good night again, 3 hits, all against the lefty Rodriguez, the starter tonight for Arizona. Gavin Sheets, certainly a nice part of this win, but 2 home runs. The Stars came to play tonight. Manny had 3 hits, including the home run. Fernando had a couple of hits, including a home run. So Fernando and Manny, big parts of this win. And again, the Padres bullpen just terrific once again here tonight, as guess what? The Padres win yet another 1-run game, another close game. When they win them these days, they seem to be by the slimmest of margins. That's been something we've come to know about this team. But hey, they now sit at 50-43. they continue to keep things afloat, and they do split this series from the Arizona Diamondbacks. When we come back, we'll have all the radio highlights for you. A full game recap. We'll go downstairs here from Mike Shildt coming up a little bit later as well. Final score, Padres 4 and the D-backs 3. Our post-game coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Imagine having fresh bottled water.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we wrap this one up. Again, the final score here tonight, Padres 4 and the Diamondbacks 3. As the Padres improved to 50-43, Diamondbacks dropped to 46-48. We'll go back downstairs here from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. All your phone calls, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, and much, much more. But first, let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Our starting pitching matchup in the final game of this four-game series. Diamondbacks looking for a series win. Padres looking for a series split. Randy Vasquez on the mound for San Diego. Left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for the D-backs. Both guys threw 2 scoreless innings to begin the night. Vasquez then walked the leadoff man in the top of the third, and he then gave up a double. Jose Herrera drove in a run with a sac fly that also got another runner to third base. Corbin Carroll drove in that runner with another sac fly. And just like that, a couple of sac flies, it was a 2-0 Arizona lead. The D-backs loaded the bases later in the inning, but Vasquez kept it at just a couple of runs of damage. Padres trailed 2-0 going bottom 3. Fernando Tatis Jr. led off.
3-2, and Tatis swings, sends it in the air to deep center field. Thomas racing straight back. He is at the wall. This one gonna go dead central for Fernando. his 16th of the year, and now a 2-1 game here in the third.
Fernando hammered it. That ended a 14-game homerless drought for Fernando Tatis Jr., and the Padres were on the board. Padres still down 2-1 going to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Rodriguez issued a leadoff walk to Jackson Merrill, then a single to Jose Iglesias. That got Merrill to third. Jake Cronenworth then grounded out to first base. Merrill scored, and we were tied at 2. Vasquez then got in major trouble in the top of the fifth inning. The D-backs put runners on first and second with 1 out. Mike Shildt got aggressive. He went to Adrian Morejon to face Josh Naylor. Again, this was in the fifth inning, and with Vasquez under 90 pitches, Morejon struck him out. Morejon then induced a pop out from Eugenio Suarez to end the inning. So we got Naylor and Suarez, 2 huge outs from Morejon, and it kept the game tied. Bottom 5 still tied at 2. It was Manny who led off.
First pitch coming. Manny hacks it in the air to deep left field. Gurriel gonna watch this one. Gonna go! Manny Machado, a go-ahead homer. 16th of the season, and the Padres lead for the first time tonight. It's 3-2.
Big home run for Manny gave the Padres a lead. Gavin Sheets then singled. That chased Rodriguez from the game. Right-hander Juan Murillo came in to face Xander Bogaerts.
Pitch on the way, and Bogaerts hits it hard on the ground. Fair up the third baseline. That'll roll all the way into the corner. Sheets is on his horse. He's at third. He's going to be waved. Comes the relay to the plate. Not in time. RBI double Xander Bogaerts, and the Padre lead is now 4-2.
4-2 Padre lead, a 2-run bottom half of the fifth inning. Morejon then went out and pitched the scoreless top of the sixth after the D-backs put 2 on with 1 out. He got some help from Martin Maldonado behind the plate. Maldonado threw out a runner at second base on a double steal attempt. Let's go top 7. Jason Adam came in. Corbin Carroll hit a leadoff single. He stole second. Geraldo Perdomo at the plate.
And Perdomo hits it on the ground to first over the bag. Diving attempt to rise. Couldn't get there. It's into right field. That'll get a run home as Carroll trots in. And up to second base with his second double of the night, Geraldo Perdomo. This is a 1-run game in the top of the 7th.
The Padres then intentionally walked Josh Naylor to put 2 on. Adam got the next 2 batters to end the inning, straying 2 on base, and it kept the Padres up 4-3. Jake Woodford back on the mound for the D-backs in the bottom half after throwing a scoreless 6th inning. He issued a couple of walks and allowed a single. Padres had him loaded up with only 1 out. Woodford bounced back to strikeout Jake Cronenworth. Trenton Brooks pinch hit in the number 9 spot. He grounded out to end the inning, and the Padres left him loaded. Top of the 8th inning, Jeremiah Estrada came on. He would give up a 2-out single and a stolen base, but he struck out Corbin Carroll to end that tying run on second base. Stranded, in fact, that tying run actually went to third base. It was a stolen base, then a throwing error. Either way, the tying run stranded on base. Estrada, a scoreless top of the 8th inning. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, Fernando Tatis Jr. hit another one to deep center field. Jake McCarthy went back on it, made a leaping catch by the fence, took a home run away from Fernando. Would have been Fernando's second home run of the night, and also would have given the Padres a big-time insurance run, but instead a great play by McCarthy, and it was a scoreless bottom half of the 8th inning for the Padres. So the Padres still led only 4-3 going to the 9th inning. Robert Suarez came on. He got a fly out from Ketel Marte. He struck out Geraldo Perdomo. There were 2 outs and nobody on. It was Josh Naylor representing the tying run.
First pitch to it, and Naylor swings, grounds it to the right side. Cronenworth has it at first base. He'll bring it himself, and the ball game is over. Suarez, for the second time this week, a 1-2-3 ninth inning against the Diamondbacks, picks up his major league leading 27th save of the season, and the Padres are in a 4-game split with Arizona as they win this one by a final of 4-3.
Really, really nice win for the Padres here tonight as the Padres win it by a final score, like Jesse said, of 4-3. Final totals here tonight for San Diego: 4 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. For Arizona, 3 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. Padres improved to 50-43. Arizona drops to 46-48. The winning pitcher here tonight was Adrian Morejon. What a well-deserved win for Adrian. We're going to talk about him in our next segment. He was really good tonight. Adrian gets the win. He's 7-3, continues his great work. Eduardo Rodriguez drops the 3-6. The save goes to Robert Suarez, his major league leading 27th save of the year. And that was that here tonight. Padres and the Diamondbacks split this 4-game series. Now just 3 games remaining before the All-Star break. The Padres welcoming in the Philadelphia Phillies for the start of a 3-game series tomorrow here at Petco Park. And then we have the All-Star break. But felt like a big game here tonight. Felt like one the Padres really needed to have. It was sort of managed that way tonight as well. We'll get into all that. But all in all, Padres got enough offense. Bullpen did a really good job, and the Padres win it in another one-run game, 4-3 here tonight. We'll come back. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt as the Padres are victorious at Petco Park. Another big crowd, and we have a pretty cool attendance note to give you as well later on in our post-game coverage. 4-3 the final. Padres win it. Our post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Stay tuned to the Jamul Casino.
Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Padres win it by a final score of 4-3 as they win this series finale against Arizona. Padres and the D-backs split this 4-game set, and now the Padres continue this 10-game homestands wrap up the ceremonial first half of the season, the pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule, by welcoming in the Philadelphia Phillies for a 3-game series tomorrow. We'll talk much more about that matchup against the Phillies coming up a little bit later on in our post-game coverage, because it is a pretty interesting matchup against the Phillies, not just because the Phillies are obviously a very good team, but also because I think the pitching matchups are really interesting as well. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show is always brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. Hey, player, when it comes to giving you what you want, Jamul Casino Resort isn't playing around. It's way more than a place to game. It's a place where you can stay and play in every possible way. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. We'll hear from Mike Shildt coming up in a little bit. Stay tuned for that. We're working on getting that audio for you on this Thursday night. Let's focus on really what this game was all about. And I thought it was interesting here tonight. This game, and I'll tell you what really indicated it to me, that this game was a little bit different than your normal mid-July ball game. I really thought it was a very aggressive move by Mike Shildt to bring in Adrian Morejon when he did in the 5th inning. At that point, it was only a 2-2 game. Keep in mind, this is the top of the 5th inning. Randy Vasquez is only at 86 pitches. He brings in Morejon in a spot where there's 2 on, runners on first and second, and 1 out, to face the left-handed hitting Josh Naylor, with Eugenio Suarez waiting on deck, a right-handed batter. Morejon strikes out Naylor, gets a pop out from Suarez, and the inning is over. The game's tied at 2. But again, think about this. It's only the top of the 5th inning. And then Morejon comes back out, gets in trouble in the 6th inning, works his way out of it, does a really good job. We'll get more into what Adrian continues to do, because this guy, to me, no doubt should be an all-star in 2025. But that really indicated to me that this was a game the Padres felt like they needed to have here tonight. And I think you understand it. Heading towards the All-Star break, you don't want to lose 3 out of 4 to a divisional opponent, to a team that's chasing you in the wild card standings, even though we've got a long way to go. I also thought, quite honestly, it was a little reflection as to how the Padres offense is going right now. I think, and again, we'll hear from Mike Shildt, but maybe there's a little thinking there of, you know what, the offense isn't scoring a whole lot right now. And look, they only ended up scoring 4 runs. They did have 13 hits in this game, but it's not like they scored a ton tonight. They scored 4. They scored enough. But a feeling of, in that spot of, hey, we can't allow one big swing to put the Diamondbacks up by 3 runs right now. We got to go give Naylor our best shot right now, Suarez our best shot right now, because the game might be in the balance right now with the way the offense is going. And again, I'm just giving you my perspective on it, but it felt like an aggressive move. And I thought it spoke to the urgency that the Padres treated this game with here tonight. And look, Randy was okay today, did walk 4, worked himself into trouble. 4 innings and a third, 2 runs given up on 5 hits. Then you look at what the bullpen did, and they weren't perfect tonight. Jason Adam wasn't perfect in the 7th inning. However, when they needed to make big pitches in this game, they made them. Let's go inning by inning with the bullpen. 5th inning, 2 on, 1 out. Morejon comes in, like we said, gets Naylor, gets Suarez. 6th inning, 2 on, 1 out. Morejon gets a huge piece of help. What I thought was kind of a weird base running play where the Diamondbacks tried to double steal with McCarthy and Thomas. And Thomas, the trail runner, he was thrown out at second base by a lot. It was a great throw for Martin Maldonado. So instead of runners on first and second and 1 out, it was a runner on third with 2 outs, because Maldonado threw out the trail runner at second base and Thomas. And then Morejon, again, when he needed to make a pitch, he strikes out Jose Herrera to end that inning and 2/3 scoreless for Morejon. Then Jason Adam gives up a leadoff single in the 1st inning. Carroll steals a base, RBI double for Perdomo. He's on second base, the tying run with 1 out. They intentionally walk Naylor, so that situation, runners on first and second with 1 out. So the tying run in scoring position, the go-ahead run on base. And what does Adam do? He gets a fly out and a ground out to end the inning. Again, making pitches when he absolutely needed to. Similar thing in the 8th inning with Estrada. Gets the first 2 outs, gives up a 2-out single a stolen base. Throw goes into center. All of a sudden, you have the tying run 90 feet away from scoring. Corbin Carroll at the plate. And what does Jeremiah Estrada do? Strikes out Carroll. So, I mean, they were really, really making big-time pitches when they needed to. Robert Suarez, it was very quick and easy. 1, 2, 3, 9th inning. He continues to do great work. His 27th save of the season. Great job by Robert, but I can't say enough about what those four guys have done. I thought Gavin Sheets put it perfectly after the game. Those guys have just been all-stars. I mean, they really have. Adams an all-star. Suarez is an all-star. I think Adrian Morejon should be an all-star. I think he's been that good. Again, we'll get into what he continues to do because the run he's on right now is just tremendous. I mean, he's been pretty much automatic as of late and made some big pitches here tonight. I just marvel at what the bullpen continues to do, what those four guys continue to do. And even though the Padres are not scoring much these days, I will say this. The one advantage, and I think it's a significant one that they have right now, and they'll continue to have, is when they have a lead late, they've got four legitimate closer types in the back end of that bullpen. Any of those four guys could close games in the major leagues between Morejon, Adam, Estrada, and Suarez. When they have a lead late, you feel very, very good about it. So even though they're not scoring a ton of runs, even though we've talked plenty about the issues with the bottom of the lineup and some of the starting pitching, all of that, one of the things that is a real positive about this team, and I do think as you go down the stretch of a season, and certainly in a playoff scenario, we're a long way from that, you feel really good when they have a lead late because these guys have been so good. They haven't always been perfect, but for the most part, they've been pretty close. So it's a real advantage for this team. It really, really is. And the Padres get yet another one-run win. I mean, it just seems like they play so many close games. And I suppose the hope is that you can keep on doing that throughout the remainder of the schedule. And it's something that can benefit you when you get into the real tight situations come October. Long way to go before we get to worry about all that. But Padres find a way again in a really, really close game. And hey, when you get home runs from Fernando and Manny, that doesn't hurt either. All right, so I think we've got Mike Shildt queued up, ready to go. Let's go downstairs here at Petco Park, and here's some post-game reaction from the Padres skipper.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, how good and how important has Adrian Morejon been for you this year?
Pitched like an all-star tonight. I'll tell you that much. It's been fantastic. Listen, back in the bullpen's been a lot of our success, our calling card. Adrian's been tremendous, been fantastic, and the ability to use him and him to be efficient as he has allows us to use him more, and that's clearly important. And also his ability to be flexible where he pitches mentally is also important. I mean, this guy, last homestand, he went and grabbed the 4th and the 5th very quickly. And then the next night, because of the availability of the bullpen, got the 9th. Okay. And then today, I looked up and would have preferred, but he got, 2 really quick outs to finish the 5th. And then, took down the 6th and earned his, what I believe to be is the league leading wins leader in relievers. So guy's been lights out.
How good is it to see Robert Suarez doing what he's doing now as well? The velocity there, but even more important, it seems like the command is really back too.
Yeah, the command's in a really good place. Again, the guy's leading this league in saves. So one of the couple of times, and he proves he's human, it doesn't look as right. But, Robert's Robert, and he's got a slow heartbeat. But to your point, Scan, the ball was coming out really clean, and he was locating well.
We were talking about the power before the ball game. It showed up tonight.
Yep, it did.
Just in time.
It showed up just in time. The offensive bats are really good. still got to figure out a way to add on when we get the opportunities and not try to do too much. But yeah, Toddy, basically hit 2 homers. Thomas made a great play. But he gets one over his head, and early, and then, Manny annihilated that ball to allow us to get the lead. And Morihone snubbed it, get momentum there, add on momentum, and then we just ran from there. But, guys took good at bats. Bogey's at bats were fantastic again tonight. Really, really good at bats, and even showed, look, I got the button in my game if I need it. So, he was terrific, and Batati and Manny, really, that was key. And let's don't underscore Jackson. The walks aren't as sexy, but they are to me and us, and they help them win games. And, Jackson continues to, take what the game gives him and swing at bitches he can handle, which are a lot. Jackson's going to be right back to being one of the better players.
I know you brought it up like this, but not a lot of managers would feel as good as you could tonight after your starter has to leave in the 5th. Like, what were you thinking, and who was available, how strong they have been? Yeah, I mean, we've done this recipe, and, and I know it's something we can't replicate every day. It's not replicatable, but when that opportunity presents itself, and it presented itself tonight in the 5th, especially in a high leverage in the middle of their order, in a tight ball game, we're gonna take our shot when we can. Some nights, other guys have to pick it up. We talked about bullpens, and tomorrow other guys are going to maybe have to pick it up. We are going to have some guys will be available again tomorrow, but tonight we had the opportunity where going in, we knew Adrian, if he could be efficient, could get 1+ in that part of the order, and he did just that. And of course, Adam pitching at the top against the lefties, in the 7th, and Jeremiah really good in the 8th, and of course Robert brought it home. But yeah, those guys are fantastic, and we also need, all 8 of our guys to do the job. We talked a lot about the team identity and those games, but when that this potential is in there, and so how encouraging isn't like this? Sander, big hit, bunch of, there's time big blast.
Yeah, we know. I mean, we've proven it. And I don't, the records indicate it. We're good in close games. We do a lot of things well that allow you to win games in total, and some are really clear, and some are, just hitting the cutoff man. Or, for example, Malty tonight throws backside and, is able to erase a guy that's a big out right there. You're talking about second, third. You got to just make a decision about the infield depth, and he's able to cut the trail runner down. As a big throw by Malty. But all those things, is my point, leads to our ability to win a close baseball game. But we also, it's legal to win 7-3 or 8-2.
They're all big series, and we talked about it on Monday that this was just one of the series that's a big series, but it is a division rival, and you get a split. What did you kind of make of the back and forth nature of this series and how it went? Yeah, I thought it was a really competitive series, obviously, and they swing the bats. They take good at bats. They're consistent with their bats. They played clean for the most part. Both are experienced teams that know how to play the game, and locked horns and split.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 4-3 win for the Padres against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Sam Levitt back with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. This was really a good series. It was certainly a back-and-forth series. Padres losing on Monday, winning on Tuesday, losing yesterday, and winning here today. They split this 4-game series. I'll tell you this, and we'll chew on some more of this ball game after our break. I'll tell you this, though, and I really do believe this. I think Arizona is going to be in the mix here until the end. Well, let me rephrase that. If they do not sell off at the deadline, I do think the Diamondbacks are going to be in the mix towards the end. Two caveats to that I'll give you. If they don't sell off at the deadline, which they may, and caveat number 2, if they can get some help for their bullpen. I do think their bullpen is going to be a problem for them. I really do. And it could be a real major problem for them. If they don't sell off, though, and they can find a little bullpen help, got to tell you, they score runs. They put together good at-bats. They've got a good offense. I think they've got enough starting pitching. I'm just making the point to you that I think Arizona's going to be involved here. Again, they've got ground to make up, but I would not be shocked if they are in the mix here. And this is a matchup we're looking at later in the season as a really critical one. So we'll see how it all works out. Obviously, Padres ahead of them by a few games right now in the wild card picture. But this is kind of an interesting matchup, these two teams, and I think the Diamondbacks do some good things despite having some pretty glaring holes as well. So it'll be interesting to see as the season goes along. But in this series, Padres and D-backs split it, and the Padres win it 4-3. When we return, we'll have our relief pitcher of the game. We'll talk even more about what Adrian Morejon continues to do. Our catch of the game. We'll also take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Play of the game. Take your phone calls at 833-288-0973. Again, 833-288-0973 if you want to get involved. Padres win it on this Thursday. Our post-game coverage continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here. Upgrade your outdoor
Postgame coverage continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score here tonight, Padres 4 and the Diamondbacks 3. Sam Levitt with you at Petco Park as we continue to wrap this one up. Hope you had a great Thursday. Hope you enjoyed the ball game. If you were here tonight, another great crowd, 39,000 plus in the building, just shy of a sold-out crowd here in downtown San Diego. And the Padres put together a nice ball game here tonight. 4 runs on 13 hits. They did have 2 home runs in this game, one by Tatis in the third to make it a 2-1 game, get the Padres on the board, one by Manny in the 5th inning to make it a 3-2 game, put the Padres ahead. They would get one more in the bottom half of the 5th inning to make it 4-2. And hey, that RBI double by Xander Bogaerts ended up making all the difference in this one, as the Padres needed each one of their runs as they win it by a single run at 4-3. And we talked about it pregame. One of the keys to tonight's game, the keys right now, just in general for the Padres. You know what? let's quickly go through the keys because I think it's worth it tonight. Key number one was bring the bats, right? We talked about, I gave you so many numbers in the pregame today and not good ones. And I said, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here, but I got to take a moment here to assess what the Padres offense is or really hasn't been for a while now. And I'm not going to go through the numbers again. I'll spare you. But they needed to get this offense going, and they only scored 4 runs. They did have missed opportunities in this game. Padres in total with runners in scoring position in this one went a combined 2 for 12. So they certainly could have been better, but they found a way to scratch out 4 runs, including 2 home runs. And again, the 2 home run part, I think, is a significant part of it because that has been one of the real issues for this team, just the lack of slug, lack of home runs, lack of high OPS. And they got some of that tonight. And it does show you a little bit the power of the home run ball. So they got the offense going again, could have had more, did have missed opportunities. We understand that, but they did enough to win this game. We also talked about keeping the Diamondbacks in the yard. They went deep 4 times last night. And kind of an interesting stat, Arizona entering today had scored a National League best 47.4% of their runs this season via the home run ball. And what did the Padres do tonight? They didn't allow the Diamondbacks to hit a home run. So they did well in that department. So those 2 keys played out nicely. Again, offense still could have been more explosive, no doubt about that, but they did enough to win the game. And here in mid-July, I think you appreciate the win. You hope the offense continues to take steps forward tomorrow, and you go on from there. Well, the Padres had a key defensive play in this game. It came in the 6th inning. At the time, the Padres up by a score of 4-2, but the Diamondbacks were threatening against Adrian Morejon. Runners on first and second, 1 out. The number 9 batter, Jose Herrera, at the plate, and that was the setting for tonight's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
Runner from second takes off and delayed from first. The throw goes to second and in time. So Grichuk got a late read on the double steal, and the Padres take full advantage. McCarthy at third now with 2 outs.
It was a big play and a perfect throw by Martin Maldonado and a really good decision to go to second base. They got the trail runner in Thomas, or excuse me, they got the trail runner in Grichuk who had pinch hit. Grichuk. I think I might have said Thomas earlier. I meant Grichuk. They got the trail runner Grichuk for out number 2, and instead of it being runners on first and second and 1 out, all of a sudden it was runner on third base and 2 men away, and the number 9 batter, Jose Herrera, at the plate, not the most dangerous hitter in this Arizona lineup. So I thought it was a big-time throw and a big-time play for the Padres. Martin Maldonado throwing out that runner at second base, and Grichuk really helped Adrian Morejon through a scoreless 6th inning. That was tonight's catch of the game. Now let's tell you about tonight's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game, you could go a few different ways with this. However, I will give it to Adrian Morejon, who came in the 5th inning. I thought very aggressive move for Mike Shildt. You heard him talk about it earlier, and I understood it. I really did, considering what this game was. An aggressive move to go get Adrian, bring him in the 5th inning with 2 on and 1 out. Naylor, the left-handed hitter, coming up. Suarez behind him. Dangerous part of this Arizona lineup. Strikes out Naylor, gets a pop out from Suarez, inning over, kept the game tied at 2. Then comes back out, got in trouble, single walk in the 6th inning, got the help we just heard from Maldonado, but bottom line, got through the 6th inning scoreless, and that was after the Padres had taken a 4-2 lead. So again, he kept it tied at 2, set the scene for Manny to hit the home run, give him a lead in the 5th inning. Padres got one more on the Bogarts RBI double, and then comes back out and gets through a scoreless 6th inning. So all in all, inning and 2/3 scoreless, 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, just 19 pitches for Morahone. That's the other thing about Adrian that I have found really impressive in this run. He's very efficient. I mean, you do not see him getting in a lot of trouble, getting into very deep counts, falling behind. He is efficient. It feels like every time you look at his pitch count numbers after an outing, you're like, wow, that was efficient. He's never in a spot where you're like, oh my goodness, it took him 32 pitches to get out of a single inning. He's really never in that predicament. And you go back and we continue to look at the start date of this run, in my mind, is May 23rd. That was an outing in Atlanta. So we're going on over a month and a half and coming up on 2 months. In that span, since May 23rd, Adrian has made 23 appearances. He has not allowed an earned run. He has allowed 6 hits. He has a 0.49 whip, an 0.81 opponent batting average. He struck out 23 in 22 innings. 23 appearances, 22 plus innings, no earned runs, and 6 hits. I mean, he has been really, really, really good. I think he should be an all-star. I think it's a shame that he's not going to be there unless he somehow gets in the next few days. He's got a 1.71 ERA on the year, and I've talked about it at length. I won't get into it again here tonight, but the short of it is, I mean, number one, I think you can absolutely argue right now he's the Padres' best reliever. I mean, he's just, right now, he's automatic. He's been the Padres' best reliever for 2 months now. And I just marvel at what he's turned himself into. I really do. He's great. And again, it's not just the overall numbers. Watch the games. I mean, he's ahead of everybody. He's painting the corners. It's just really impressive what he's become. It really is. And he was great here tonight. Huge part of today's win. I think I saw it somewhere on social media with some random, tweet on X, Twitter, whatever. And I don't remember who it was. I can't remember. I just saw it in passing. And somebody said, and I wish I could attribute this to somebody. Somebody said you could argue Adrian Morahone is the MVP of the Padres so far in 2025. And I thought about that for a second. And I don't know that I'd necessarily agree. I'd really have to think about it. Could I give that to a reliever? But if anything, he's very high on the list. I mean, he's been that good. He's been that good. And where are they without him, right? I mean, he has been that good and that valuable for this team in this bullpen. And again, those 4 out of the pen, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Those 4 out of the pen, Morahone, Adam, Estrada, and Suarez, even though the Padres aren't a perfect team, they're not a perfect lineup, they're not scoring enough runs still, we understand all that. But when they have a lead and they've got everybody available like they did tonight and they decide we're going for it, good luck. Good luck. Because that foursome in the pen, Morahone, Adam, Estrada, Suarez, it's as good as it gets right now. So that is one advantage I feel like the Padres have over a lot of other teams. When they have a lead and they can go to all their guys, if you're the opposing offense, if you're the opposing manager, you got a big problem. And to me, it is one of the things that if they can get there to the postseason, we're a long way away from it, that gives them a real advantage. I mean, that's an important thing to have. We are a long way from that. A lot to worry about before all that. But it's something that I think does give this team a pretty clear advantage over other teams. What they got in this bullpen in a high leverage sense, I do. So we shall see. All right, let's step aside. If you want to get a quick phone call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial. We'll take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Our play of the game, we'll replay my interview with Gavin Sheets down on the field in case you missed it. Wrap things up. Get you ready for the series against the Phillies. More to do on our postgame after this.
You're listening.
Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Final score, the Padres 4 and the Diamondbacks 3. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Everything final in the major leagues today. The Rangers beat the Angels 11-4 in Anaheim. A's walked it off on the Braves in Sacramento in 11-5-4. Tyler Soderstrom, a walk-off base hit in the bottom half of the 11th inning in that one. Cardinals beat the Nationals 8-1 in St. Louis. The Red Sox beat the Rays 4-3 at Fenway. Ceddanne Rafaela had a 2-run base hit in the 7th inning to put the Red Sox in front. Yankees beat the Mariners on a walk-off sac fly from Aaron Judge in the 10th inning. As they beat the Mariners, they sweep the Mariners 6-5 in 10. Reds beat the Marlins 6-0 in Cincinnati. Cubs beat the Twins 8-1 in Minnesota. Doubleheader today in Baltimore. Orioles won both ends of it. 3-1 the final in game 1, 7-3 the final in game 2. Game today, Guardians and the White Sox. They will make that up as part of a doubleheader tomorrow in Chicago, and that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Thursday. Let's hear tonight's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
First pitch coming. Manny hacks it in the air to deep left field. Gurriel gonna watch this one. Gonna go! Manny Machado, a go-ahead homer. 16th of the season, and the Padres lead for the first time tonight. It's 3-2.
Manny Machado, the go-ahead home run in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Like Jesse said, put the Padres ahead 3-2. They would get one more run on a Xander Bogaerts RBI double to make it 4-2, and that ended up being a big-time run, the Bogaerts RBI double, because the Diamondbacks would get one back, but the Padres hang on for a one-run win. For Manny, another home run. He continues to put together just a great season. You know, I looked up at the big video board in left field here at Petco Park today, and I see the batting average for Manny at 291 at the end of tonight. And again, he hit his 16th home run. So, you know, all of a sudden he's right on pace to end up where he usually is. He's having a really nice year, and he's been a little cold as of late, despite getting the 2,000 hits and having a few nice games in there. It hasn't been as great for Manny overall last week and a half, but had a big swing here tonight, had 3 hits in this game. Gavin Sheets also had 3 hits in this game, and really impressive. And this continues to be just a really impressive part of the Gavin Sheets experience in 2025, and he's just such a great story for this team. He had 3 hits today, all against the left-hander. It was the first time in his career he had ever had 3 hits against the lefty, and just a great job by Gavin. Great job by the Padres here tonight, finding a way to a 4-3 win. I caught up with Gavin Sheets on the field right after tonight's win.
Gavin, let's start with what you did tonight. 3 hits, all against the lefty. Why were you able to have success against Eduardo Rodriguez?
Yeah, just feeling more comfortable. More at-bats again against lefties, better feel at them, and thought we had a pretty good game plan coming in and just trying to put good at-bats together. And obviously when you're hitting between Manny and Bogey in those situations against a lefty, you kind of get attacked a little bit more. So it's just a benefit of being in that lineup.
13 hits as a lineup today. What did you like about the offensive approach?
Yeah, I thought we were aggressive, and I also thought we swung at the right pitches. You know, a lot of walks mixed in as well, and that's when we're dangerous. Swinging at the right pitches, being aggressive, but also not chasing the pitcher's pitch. So I thought we did a great job with that today.
You guys like playing close games. Another one today. That big 4 in the bullpen, Suarez, Morejon, Estrada, Adam. They continue to get it done. What's it like to play behind these guys?
Just a bunch of all-stars. That's how you get that name, and obviously we'd like to break it open a little bit more, but you know, those guys pick us up over and over, and we continue to do it again tonight.
It was one game out of 162, but it was almost managed tonight a little like a big game against the division opponent. Did it feel that way tonight?
Yeah, we knew it was a big game coming in. We didn't want to lose this series. We wanted to even it up 2-2, and obviously it's a good ball club and division opponents, so those games always feel a little bit more important.
Gavin, great job tonight. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That was Gavin Sheets right after tonight's 4-3 win for the Padres against the Arizona Diamondbacks. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. You can also go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Taking a look at tomorrow's game, the Padres welcome in the Philadelphia Phillies for the start of a 3-game series as this 10-game, 3-series homestand continues with the final 3 games of the homestand. Pitching matchup tomorrow, left-hander Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies. Right-hander Ryan Berger will come off the IL tomorrow and return to the rotation for the Padres. First pitch tomorrow at 6:40. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:40. It's a good series of pitching matchups. It's Suarez against Berger tomorrow, Zach Wheeler against Yu Darvish on Saturday, then Nick Pivetta against Christopher Sanchez on Sunday, and that will wrap up the pre-All-Star break portion of the schedule. But again, tomorrow, Berger against left-hander Ranger Suarez. Taking a look at the final totals here tonight for the Padres. 4 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. They left on 13. For Arizona, 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They left on 10. Winning pitcher tonight, Adrian Morejon, improves to 7-3. Losing pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez, who drops to 3-6. And the save goes to Robert Suarez, his major league leading 27th save of the season. Time of game, 2 hours and 55 minutes. And the crowd here at Petco Park on this Thursday, 39,079. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 6:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Jeff Hamby, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the San Diego Padres 4 and the Arizona Diamondbacks 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.